What's going on, Knicks Nation? What's going on, everyone? Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Shout out to the members in there, as always. Thank you for the support. Your New York Knicks fall to the Detroit Pistons by a final score of 111 to 126, ladies and gentlemen. Open up this post game with a womp twice. Feel like playing it again because, man, oh man, that was the New York Knicks just cannot beat the Detroit Pistons. And that's a problem. That is a problem. Strap in, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be I don't even know where to begin, guys. Like, this is kind of where it starts to get a little bit uncomfortable. Because in a year where you were supposed to be the clear favorite, you and the Cavs are supposed to be the clear favorite in the Eastern Conference, right? The Detroit Pistons have looked like the far superior team against you. And I'm not just talking about one night, ladies and gentlemen. No, not just one night. You are now 0-3 against the Detroit Pistons. And they didn't just beat you, guys. They outclassed the New York Knicks in every single freaking game, guys. Every game. We came out the All-Star break, but we're like, all right, the guys had fun in LA. They did their little shenanigans. Cool. This 10-game stretch coming up here is a gauntlet. Let's open it up with a win in Madison Square Garden. Get the bad taste out of our mouths against the Detroit Pistons this year. And what happens? It looks like more of the same. It looks like more of the same, guys, against this team. And please, before I know what most of the narrative is going to be. Like, please save me with the last year stuff. Like, last year is last year. Last year is last year, ladies and gentlemen. Let me put the chat. That doesn't automatically roll over. What happened last year when we were winless against the Celtics, right? The Pistons beat up on us, right? What happened? That's a different season. Different circumstances. Different coach. It doesn't guarantee anything now. That stuff doesn't really carry you. I can't just say last year we sucked against elite teams and we turned it around in the playoffs and all of a sudden we're going to do the same thing this year. That doesn't happen. Like, that doesn't happen. This is a different year, different expectations, different coach, and more importantly, different standard, man. This is supposed to be a championship year, ladies and gentlemen. Like, using last year as a shield, in my opinion, is kind of lazy. Like, I've even said it, right? Playoffs are a different game. Playoffs are a different, pretty much a different season, right? But, man, these 3 losses to this Pistons team, guys, they're the far superior team in the East. It's them, and it seems like it's everyone else. And what also makes this loss so alarming right now is just how comfortable the Detroit Pistons look against the New York Knicks, right? They're not guessing. They're walking into these games knowing exactly who they are. And what you struggle with, they dictate the physicality. They disrupt Brunson. They made Cade uncomfortable to start. Man, that's another thing, man. I'll get to Cade in a second. And controlled the game in every phase, right? You lose that 15 at home in Madison Square Garden. And it kind of felt like worse than that. I know the Knicks kind of made a run there in the end, but this was just... It's a frustrating loss, man. Mike Brown tried to put and look, Cade Cunningham. If you're a Pistons fan watching this post game, I just got to tip my cap to Cade, man. That was an incredible basketball game from Cade Cunningham that we just saw. That was greatness, what we just witnessed, right? And sometimes that it is what it is. That's it. He looks like he's hungry. He looks like he's pissed the F off that the New York Knicks sent him home last year. He looks like he's coming. Like, that dude right there is a problem. right? Now that I gave him his props, Mike Brown literally tried every single guy on him, and it didn't work. So Sohan got the best of him, I thought, until he crossed him over in the fourth quarter. But I still think Sohan made his life kind of, more difficult than the others. OG, I mean, I just think OG shouldn't have played. He's missing every single shot. Toe is not there, every single open look, and we'll go through the shooting numbers. It's not great. And let's talk about Cat, guys. Well, once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. If you're new here, hello, my name is Anthony. Welcome. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I wish we would have been playing under different, doing a post game under different circumstances, but here we are, man. Karl Anthony Towns, he needs to play stronger. Needs to man up. Period. From the jump. The Detroit Pistons, they're going to play physical with you. We all know you're getting fouled. Newsflash. We all know you're getting fouled. They're not calling it though, Cat. So stop complaining. Stop looking at the refs. Play through it and man up. Please. I was watching the NBA, the Prime video, just to get the inside of Dwayne Wade, and he said it during the broadcast. He said, quote, when the physicality affects Karl Anthony Towns, it affects his mental, it affects his mannerisms, it affects his entire game, and it showed. Guys, the Detroit Pistons had no Jalen Duren, no Isaiah Stewart, and like through the first 18 minutes or something like that, Karl Anthony Towns goes scoreless. That just cannot happen. It just can't. It just can't. And like in every single game against the Pistons this year, our centers just they've been outclassed and been outplayed. And the Pistons we haven't even played them with Jalen Duren. They're another all-star. So Karl Anthony Towns, yeah, dude, man, I didn't like the way he played in the first half, guys. It was a little bit alarming to me, and he just looked like, look, I know the offensive system and the rhythm, and, the Knicks are not passing him the ball, but, dude, just come on. I need you to get your head in the effing game, bro. I need you to man up. If they're playing physical with you, I don't need you to check out because they're bumping and grinding you, and you're just like, oh, I don't want this tonight, man. I'm not doing this tonight. No. They've outclassed the Knicks 3 times this year. 3 times, ladies and gentlemen. I see all of you in the chat. Here's the box score on my screen. Once again, appreciate you guys in the chat, man. Look, this is a concern, right? This is a concern. It's a long season. I get it. Yada, yada, yada. All this, blah, blah, blah. But you're 0-3 against the Pistons, and they're clearly the top of the food chain. They are the lion, right? They're the top of the top. The Knicks started 1 of 15 from 3, I believe. They missed 15 straight threes in this game. You're not winning NBA games like that, first and foremost. Right? And to close that first half was just abysmal. 7-0 run by the Detroit Pistons. OG Anunoby's missing every open 3. And look, 8 of 35 from 3 the Knicks were. OG Anunoby 1 of 8 from 3, 3 of 13, just wasn't out there looking right, moving right. Cade was just going right at him. He was getting cooked. OG got cooked. And we normally don't see that. Cade saw OG Anunoby. Nobody was stopping Cade tonight. Nobody. He looked like a man possessed. He did. He did, man. So Karl Anthony Towns finishes with 21 and 11, 7 of 14 from the field. But look, another double from Cat. But it's just like, to me, those are the kind of like empty calorie stats for me. Whether it's him, the coaching staff, something got to give, man. This is a big game, in my opinion. This was a big game coming out the break. You should have been dominating the Pistons. Paul Reed was in foul trouble. Paul Reed was in foul trouble. And I got Tolo Smith. Tolo Smith. Tolo. Deadass. Man. Like, what? All right. Let me get to some of your comments. I appreciate you guys in the chat. I see all of you in here. Shout out to the members again. Wayne. I see you in here. Fig, I see you in here loud and clear. I see you in here. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Say Quizzy, I see you in here. Buzzer Beater says that was bad. That was bad, bro. That was bad. Loud and clear says Mike Brown not sending double teams at Cade and just letting him take over in the third was absolutely ridiculous. Agree, loud and clear. Look, I honestly think Cade was just making elite decisions tonight, loud and clear, that there was no stopping him. Like, he played an elite basketball game tonight for the Detroit Pistons. Elite. Right? And there's honestly, he takes 34 shots, but 13 assists to go on 42 and 13 and 8. And 2 blocks. So, yeah, man. He played great. He played great. Oh, figure salute. She says salute from the doldrums of the Knicks fandom. What's going on? Eddie says Detroit will sweep us. Bruh. Joshua, the shots were horrible. Ice cold. Ice cold. Buzzer beater. What's going on, buzzer beater? Mac Jean. El Figgy, sickening effort. Just catching up on your comments in here. Once again, shout out to the support. Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen, even though the New York Knicks don't like us. They don't like us. El Figgy says they just got to the basket at will. Mind you, this is our second star, and he's performing like this. That is from Joel in the chat. Mike says straight business, straight to the business. OG gets a pass because he's back from an injury. He's rusty, but guys like Bridges, Josh, they have to have big games. Agree, Mike. Appreciate you in here, Mike. Thanks for the support. Yeah, Chris Gotti, Alvarado. Look, Mike Brown tried everyone on. He tried everyone. If he wanted to throw Rick Brunson at Cade for over. Like, bro, Diawara got minutes early. He tried Diawara on him. Diawara, we thought that Jeremy Sohan was going to take the rotational minutes of Diawara. Well, Sohan plays in the second half. Then it's Diawara in the first half, right? But Diawara got some minutes on Cade. Right? The searching staff was searching. And Sohan, the first possession he got on Cade, he had a block to end the third quarter. And I'm like, okay, let's go back to that. Like, why don't we? I know Sohan just got here like 5 minutes ago, but Cade was cooking everyone, even your best defender. And we got Sohan in here for a reason, to kind of not to be a Cade stopper, but to kind of push him around a little bit. You even saw them like pushing each other, like when Cade crossed him over. But he did a pretty good job on him. And even Alvarado bothered him a little bit. Right? So Sohan's going to be that specialist. We saw that a little bit. Alvarado gave you energy a little bit. But those were just moments. And nothing built up to momentum in this basketball game. Right? Nothing built up to momentum in this game for the Knicks. Guys, 0-3 against a Pistons team that has been missing Jalen Duren every matchup. And yes, we've been missing, guys in and out too. But guys, the Pistons are like, do I have to play the drop? Why do we play so soft against this team? Why? It bothers me. It bothers me as a Knicks fan that the Detroit Pistons, the 3 times that they played us, they've sucker punched us in every matchup, bro. It's not even a competition. We're like their little brother right now currently. It's like, it makes me feel some type of way. It does. Because all 3 losses have been just clear that they're out for blood. The Pistons are out for blood. You sent them home. And right now, as a Knicks fan, my thought process is, man, I'm just hoping that someone knocks them out in the first round or second round, or even it probably is us in the second round against them. The way, you know, with 35-20, I got to check the standings, but man, Detroit isn't scared of the New York Knicks, right? They're comfortable against them. They're physical. They're disciplined. And until the Knicks respond, you know, this matchup is a problem. And like I said earlier, the playoffs are a different game. So, yes, last year happened where the New York Knicks were, you know, just couldn't beat anyone in the regular season in terms of the elites of the elites. And in the postseason, that turned around. They hit a 180. Like, can that happen again? Like, if we match up against the Pistons, can history repeat itself? Like, normally that doesn't happen. Normally that stuff doesn't happen. And, you know, as a Knicks fan, look, I go to this, you know, and you know, OG does get a pass for me. The foot, he damn near has no toe, right? Josh Hart, just, look, I thought in the first quarter, the Knicks opened up this game kind of with, like, they were the more aggressive team, and they had energy. And I just think that they started to miss shots, and that started to get to them. Like, they started to miss. Look, you're not winning many basketball games. I could say everything that I've been saying, but you're not winning any basketball games shooting 23% from 3, ladies and gentlemen. You're not. Right? And Cat 104, Brunson 3 of 7, Bridges 0 of 3, Alvarado 0 of 5. OG Anunoby was the key, because in that first half, he had a bunch of wide open threes, and I think he was 0 of 5 on all of them. And he was wide open, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, whether it got to be the Toji, got to be the toe that's bothering him. We saw him wincing a little bit in the first quarter, but man, 23% from 3, you're really not going to win at all shooting that poorly. So, once again, appreciate you guys in the chat. Knicks lose 111-126 to the Detroit Pistons. They fall to 35-20, right? 35-21 now on the season in Madison Square Garden. So they open up the All-Star break with a 10-game gauntlet, and we'll go through the schedule in a bit, but they start 0-1 at home against the Pistons, and, you know, it just didn't look great at all, especially mid-first all the way until the end of the game. It just wasn't. Pistons just had our number the whole game. You guys can hit up the Discord. I'll post a link in the chat. Let me post a link in the chat for the Discord. If you guys want to call in, voice your frustration, you guys can do so. There is the link. Hopefully that worked. All right, let's get to your comments. El Figgy says we might slip down to 4th place. Man, I'll go through the standings in a bit, but man, that's my concern now, guys. You know, look, Pistons have our number, yes, but if you keep slipping here, that's a concern. I talked about this after the loss in Detroit. It's like it's not early anymore. Like, it's not early anymore. Like, you lost the tiebreaker to Detroit. Boston, I haven't checked the schedule yet to see if they're even playing or if they won, but you're playing Golden State right now and they're up. So, you know, we'll see regarding that game. But, man, Mac Jean says Mike Brown still has to figure out how to get Karl Anthony Towns good looks mid-season. And then he says, yeah, we're cooked. Joshua says, best record means nothing. Cavs can testify to that. Yeah, again, again, last year we were all saying that to the Cleveland Cavaliers. We were all saying that, look, yeah, they had the best record, but show me what you got in the playoffs. This Pistons team just feels different. They just feel different. They feel like they got a little experience last year. And look, only time will tell. I could be totally wrong, but this Pistons team just looks legit, man. They look legit. So, El Figure says, Josh Hart should have not come back in the game when we went on that run. Why? Yeah, and it was a possession where Mike Brown, he took out Jeremy Sohan. I think he put in Jalen Brunson. And I think Brunson, they found Brunson in the corner. They hit a three. They attacked him. They hit a three. Then on the other end, Jalen Brunson, I think he dribbled it off his foot, turned the ball over, transitional bucket. So at that point, I was questioning, like, I know Sohan just got here yesterday, but at that point, we just needed some stop. Like, the whole offense tonight was Brunson. Like, I know Cat had 21, but, you know, Shaman hit some threes late, but it was just Brunson. Like, it was just Brunson. 33 and 8 and 6 rebounds from Jalen Brunson. Nobody can hit shots. Nobody. And you're not going to win too many games when that happens. Right? Loud and Clear says he should have sent Alvarado and Sohan and made him get the ball to anyone else. Make someone else but Cade beat us. Yeah. Woody, what's going on? I see your comments in the chat, Woody. Wayne says, why not go to Clarkson? We tried everyone else out. Shamet didn't have it either. Yeah, like the Knicks were kind of like searching for some offensive rhythm, right? It just felt like they didn't have their offensive rhythm. Look, those Anunoby misses were big. Like, those were swing misses for the New York Knicks. And, you know, he just missed every single open three, it seemed. And I'm just like, man, that's kind of deflating. You know? And look, Mohamed Diawara plays 9 minutes, and I thought that they were an active 9 minutes. Like, I would have liked to see some more Diawara as well. But look, there's only so many guys you can play, and this is the problem you run into, you know, when you sign to Sohan, right? This is the problem you kind of run into. It's like, oh, I would have liked to see some more Diawara, but I would have liked to see some more Sohan because of his defense, right? So Mike Brown's going to have some kind of issues navigating this lineup now, right? Because Mikel's out there and, you know, 4-9, only 9 field goal attempts, misses all of his threes, 8 points for Mikel. It's just empty stuff, right? And this offense, you know, when they're humming, but when they're not, they're not. Like, it's just a one-man show sometimes. But I go back to those OG Anunoby threes. Those misses were deflating. So, D-Dot says, I'm not worried about this loss. They got to show us they can beat us in the playoffs. Just because you have the best record in the league doesn't mean anything. Ask the Cavs. Yeah, D-Dot, I spoke about that to open up this post game. Look, I don't know if history repeats itself to the New York Knicks. Right now, you're not going to play the Pistons until maybe the second round. Hell, guys, there's a world where the Knicks could play them in the first round. I doubt it. I doubt that's going to happen. I doubt we fall back to the number 6 seed. I hope not, but it's possible, right? But we're not going to do it. Like, 11.5 Sixers. Yeah, we're not going to fall back to the 6 seed, guys. We're not. So Cleveland has the same record as you now, and you face Cleveland coming up here. So this is the standings in the Eastern Conference, right? Pistons number 1. They're far the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. The Boston Celtics are currently playing right now, and they're up on the Golden State Warriors. Let's say they win that. Well, you're a game and a half behind the Boston Celtics. Cleveland's on your tail. Toronto is on your tail. And there is a world where the New York Knicks can, for sure, fall back to the 5th seed. I don't see them falling back to the 6th seed. But if you take a look at their current schedule, ladies and gentlemen, they just started a 10-game gauntlet, in my opinion. And it started with the Detroit Pistons, right? So they got the Pistons that they lost to tonight. They got the Houston Rockets on Saturday. They're pretty good. They're like a Pistons. They're similar to the Pistons with a little bit more offense, if that makes sense. Then you got the get right game at Chicago. Then you got at Cleveland. You go to Milwaukee, San Antonio, Toronto, OKC, Denver, Lakers, Clippers. Right? So, man, like we were dreaming about maybe possibly catching the Detroit Pistons. There's a world where New York just can keep falling back, but we just have to hope that, you know, they don't. We just have to hope that they don't. You know, right now it's win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. And what makes this loss kind of even more distasteful is the win against the Philadelphia 76ers to end the first half of the season, heading into the All-Star break. We kind of really felt good about this team. Like, okay, like coming out of the break, we got the Pistons. Like, we can't lose to the Pistons, like, for a third time. But it's like, I know the NBA is 2 seasons. You got the regular season and the postseason, right? But I'm reacting in real time, and this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good losing to the Detroit Pistons 3 times. And all 3 times, they just seem like they've treated you like you're nothing to them. They've sent a message. That's exactly what they've done. They have sent the New York Knicks a message. Like, if you guys play us in the playoff series again, and remember, the Pistons gave us a run for their money. Even the series that we won against them. They weren't afraid coming into Madison Square Garden and winning. They didn't win at home. But they weren't afraid to coming into MSG and winning. They sent us a message. Message taken, message received. So hopefully the next time we play the Detroit Pistons is in the Eastern Conference Finals. And we can look back at these 3 games and whether you want to feel confident or not confident, I'm sure I'm sure during that week before the series, we're going to all feel hyped and, you know, confident that we could beat the Pistons. But man, they've showed us that they are the superior team in the regular season, but we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But it's just, what I'm trying to get at is I don't know if history can repeat itself. I don't know if the Knicks can all of a sudden hit a switch and all of a sudden play extremely well against the Pistons in the playoffs when, quite frankly, they just haven't looked good at all against them. Right? So, this is the schedule, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get to some quotes from the guys if they've spoken already. You know, you guys can add the quotes to the chat. I'll get to those quotes. I'm sure the media is in the locker room currently. But your New York Knicks have lost for the 3rd time against the Detroit Pistons. And, you know, it's not what you want. You know, the shooting just wasn't there tonight. But I'm just hoping that, you know, I keep going back to Cat, right? I mean, those of you in the chat that are still with me, is it Cat or is it the coach? Or is it both? Right? Because, yeah, if you look at his stats, he gives you the double-double. But I just cannot have Karl-Anthony Towns just be non-existent in the first half. That can't happen. Especially when the Pistons are down their big guys. Like, I need the Knicks to kind of get him involved. I think that I can't point the finger at Mike Brown. I can't point the finger at Cat. But at the same time, sometimes I'm going to point the finger. I'm more going to point the finger at Cat because he's the guy on the court. Like, at some point, demand the ball. There were switches tonight where you had a smaller defender on you, and you're sitting there cutting through the basket, running to the other side of the court. At some point, I need you to demand the ball. Clap your hands. Like, give me the ball, Jalen. Like, let me go to work. But again, the physicality seemed like it kind of got to him a little bit. Woody says the blame is on the coach. Joel says both. Brown doesn't know how to use him, and Cat doesn't adjust to the system. Chris Gotti says, I think it's both, but mostly Brown. Mac Jean says blame is on both. D-Dot says both Cat and Brown deserve equal blame. Yeah, that I can agree with. That I can agree with. I think both Karl-Anthony Towns and Mike Brown deserve equal of the blame, but you guys see what I'm saying? Like, sometimes, like even tonight, like sometimes, man, you got Tolo Smith on you. Sometimes he had the smaller defender on him, and I'm like, bro, just get to the, like, I need you to give me some bully ball right now. And I know that's not really his strength. Like, he was like he tried his threes tonight, 1 of 4 from 3, and we thought that, you know, his three-point shot was back after seeing it in the All-Star game. He's shooting like half-court shots, and I'm like, oh, where was this cat? Right? And it's like when he's in a Knicks uniform, and it's like, maybe it is a system. Maybe he's really not comfortable in this system. But boy, I'm here to tell you got to get comfortable. Mike Brown, you have a lot of coaches to lean on to get this man comfortable in the system. Karl-Anthony Towns, you're a great player, but you need, like, the physicality ramped up in this basketball game, and it just seemed like Cat was just going, like, looking at the officials a little bit too much. Like, play. Just play. So, that's another issue that we're having. You're trying to implement Alvarado now. You're trying to implement Sohan. Does Diawara come in and take, you know, does Diawara's minutes decrease? Like, it's a whole, it seems like a lot of, quote unquote, they're not issues, but it seems like just a lot of stuff that Coach Mike Brown has to navigate through now. And we just hope that he can. But tonight was just not it. Not it. Jose says, I love Jeremy's display on defense with his minutes tonight. Blocked Cade and took his cookies in the third and fourth. Yes, agree, Jose. First quarter, he came in, got a standing ovation from the MSG faithful. He came into the crowd. He came into a rousing ovation. Shout out to the MSG crowd. And you could tell this was a playoff atmosphere. You could tell Knicks fans were in that building waiting to pounce. Like, they wanted this win. You could tell from the jump, from the opening tip-off. You know, this felt good. I had Karl-Anthony Towns with a football touchdown pass to Josh Hart in the first quarter. I'm sitting there feeling good. Timeout Detroit. I'm like, okay, we back. Like, the Pistons are not winning tonight. And then the missed shots, and then it just affected us. And then obviously the great play of Cade Cunningham tonight was just the icing on the cake for them. But, man, this one sucked, man. Joel says, Cat just blatantly sucks, man. We've gone through this a million times. Cat can't drive to the basket without struggling severely. It's so awkward when he drives and he misses easy layups that he made last year. I agree with the drives to the basket. I think that's the system, though. Like, I think that's what Mike Brown wants Cat to do. And I think Karl-Anthony Towns just wants to sit behind the three-point line and take threes and be a good passer and a great passer that he is and rebound the ball. And sometimes when he's down low, grabbing offensive rebounds, getting putbacks, yeah. But the problem is he's shooting a career low from three this year. Pretty bad from three this year. So that's not working. So you want your big man to get down low and get dirty in the paint, but it has looked awkward with Cat. Like another offensive elbow tonight from Karl-Anthony Towns that the Detroit Pistons challenged. It just hasn't looked right with him down there. And look, I just think that's just not him, right? And I think that's the turmoil between Mike Brown and Cat. Like Mike Brown wants him to be Sabonis, and he's not Sabonis. Cat is not shooting well from three this year. So Mike Brown's like, dude, you're not shooting well from three this year. So we need you to kind of be at the top of the key, the hub, the passer. And sometimes when you take advantage of your matchup, and Cat just hasn't bought into that. And defensively, you saw the Pistons hunting him. You saw the Pistons hunting him on the pick and rolls. Even with switches, they go back to him. Just didn't work. Him with the super chat. Appreciate you in the chat. Him 2722. He says, we got to stop worrying about the Pistons so much. Remember when Boston ass whooped us in the regular season? Yeah. Look, him, appreciate the super chat. Thanks for the support, as always. It's true. But I did open up this post game kind of saying the opposite. Like, I don't believe history will repeat itself because it's a different coach. It's different expectations, different circumstances. And last year, it took, let's be honest, guys, it took some magic last year. And look, sometimes that's what you need to win an NBA championship. You need some magic, right? But it took some magic. Those comebacks against Boston, it took some magic, right? So I'm just saying, the Pistons, one thing, a fact right now on February 19th, the Pistons are the best team in the East, right? And they've outclassed the New York Knicks in every single matchup that they played in. Every single one. They smoked them twice at home. They beat us by 15 today in Madison Square Garden. I just can't sit here and just say, oh, look what happened last year, you know? So I don't know. Like, I don't think the players in the locker room think like that. I don't think like Jalen Brunson is like, oh, look, last year we got smoked by Boston and look what happened in the playoffs. Like, I don't know. At some point, some pride needs to come in. Like, nah, man, let's beat these suckers in Madison Square, in front of our home crowd. Let's beat these guys. Let's not let what happened last year in the regular season happen again. The MSG faithful pay good money to see us play, and this is a marquee matchup on national television. And I got Cade Cunningham running amok in the Garden. That just doesn't feel good. So, appreciate the super chat. I see what you're saying. I'm sure Mike Brown has spoken. Once again, you guys can hop in the Discord and in the chat. I see Say Quizzy waiting in the Discord. I see Yuri waiting in the Discord. Shout out to you guys, as always. Let me turn off this music here. Please be patient with me, Say Quizzy and Yuri. Please be patient with me. I'll get to you in a second. Trying to see if anyone has spoken. Yeah. Ian Begley says Knicks had no answer for Cade Cunningham. They were dominated by Detroit team without Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart. Cunningham 42, 13, and 8. Yeah, we know, Ian. We know, Ian. We know, Ian. All right, we're starting to get some quotes. This is from James Edwards. And look, Mike Brown said this was kind of like a big game prior to the game. So the Knicks wanted this win, clearly. Right? Mike Brown said he liked the threes his team generated in the first half, but they didn't They just didn't go in. That's true. Guys, OG Anunoby, I can count. He missed 5 open threes. 5 of them. Wide open. And look, that's the name of the game. It's a make or miss league. You make shots, you look good. You miss shots, this is how you look. We have to do better on the glass. Talked about the Pistons' offensive rebounds that led to a ton of points. Yeah. Brown on Cade, we don't want him to get to the middle of the floor, and he got to the middle of the floor, so the team wasn't defending the pick and roll great. No, we weren't, ladies and gentlemen. And look, that's another thing. Look, the threes weren't falling, but the defense has been better. And I kind of was cautioning people because the defense has looked better against some lesser competition, right? And, of course, we have some good wins in there like Philly, even though they had no Embiid. The Lakers were in there. Denver was in there. Defense has been on the rise and has looked better. But over, what is it, like a 10 or 15 game sample size, there were some bad teams in there. And tonight, you allow the Pistons to drop 126 points, and you had no answer for the pick and roll for Cade Cunningham, right? And when you have Mike Brown, like, pointing at, all right, it's your turn. Jeremy Sohan, it's your turn. OG Anunoby, it's your turn. Mikal Bridges, your turn. Josh Hart, your turn. They had no answer for Cade Cunningham. None. Whatsoever. It's frustrating, guys. It's frustrating. But once again, shout out to the chat. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, all the good stuff. I'm trying to wait for the quotes to come out. In the meantime, let's get to the Discord. I see Say Quizzy and Yuri waiting in the Discord. Let's get into this Discord. Let's hit up Yuri. Yuri, how are you?
Hey, Ant.
What's going on,
How
Yuri?
you doing, brother? Nice after. How was your All-Star break, brother?
My All-Star break was great. How about you?
Good. And this was a competitive game for 3 quarters up until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You just hate to see it.
You hate to see it, Yuri, man. I mean, look, the Knicks were missed a lot of open shots, Yuri. They did, but
you gotta make them, man.
You got to. And defensively, we're getting cooked, to be honest with you. Cade was cooking them. Cade loved everything he saw.
And I said it before on stream. I'm going to say it again. I was scared for the Pistons coming up this season.
Yeah.
And if people are scared of the Pistons, they have every reason to be now. Them boys are dogs, bro.
They are, man. How worried are you?
They are. Very worried. I think didn't I not say this last summer? If there's one team I'm worried about, it's the Pistons. Did I not say that not that long ago?
No, yeah, look, we've all said it. Like, yeah, you said it too, and I've said, look, a lot of people compare this Pistons team to last year's Cleveland Cavaliers team. I don't think so, man.
It's not that. So I'm gonna tell you why it's not that.
The Pistons
Cavs are soft.
Yeah, Cavs are soft, man. They were just like we never respected the Cavs at all.
Everyone knew in the Eastern Conference. Everyone knew. Everyone knew. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Everyone knew who the Cleveland Cavaliers were all about, right? The Detroit Pistons, I knew what they were about. Now my concern is in the playoffs, and if those threes aren't falling in for us, are we a first-round exit? That's my concern.
I'm not there yet.
Now I'm starting.
I'm not there yet. I know I've saw that floating around on X. Like, you'll be lucky to get out the first round. I'm not. No way. Like, if the Knicks don't make it out the first round, then there's no way in hell, Yuri. There's no way.
Right. Well, listen, I'm very concerned. I'm not going to say doom and gloom because, hey, there's still 26 games left in the season.
Yeah.
Right? You play who's on your schedule. OG sucked tonight.
Yeah.
Mikal sucked tonight. Jose Alvarado sucked tonight. The bench sucked. The starting five looked like they were lost. And it was just a defensive battle all for 3 quarters up until the fourth quarter, and
Yeah.
it was just overall a bad game tonight. And I'm not going to give OG a pass. You suit up, you play. And wasn't OG being very selfish tonight, taking those amount of shots?
Who, OG?
Yeah,
Nah, I wouldn't. No, he was open. He was the threes that he generated, and he actually had a nice, one-on-one ISO play in the first half, and then, I saw him wince a little bit after that. But no, I think the threes that he took were good. Look, those are his shots. Like he's been making those
right.
shots, So no, I don't think he was at all. I don't think he was selfish. I just think that he was missing his shots tonight, and that toe is clearly bothering him. And hopefully, he can.
The toe's a problem, and I'm really
The
worried
toe.
about it.
Look, I'll tell you this: the toe's not going to get better with him playing on it. He needs
Exactly.
rest. So that's another
Right.
thing. What else you got, Yuri? Because I got Say Quizzy waiting.
Listen, I'm not doom and glooming right now, Ant, but I'm very worried that if the Knicks meet the Pistons in the playoffs,
Yeah.
I know I said playoffs are a different breed, Ant.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Oh, you just cut off there for a second. So
Yeah, I said the Pistons are here, that you got to go through them to get
yeah.
to the finals.
Yep.
That's what I said.
Yuri, appreciate the call, man. Thanks for the support as always. Say Quizzy, you are up next. What's going on, Say Quizzy? How are you?
What's up?
What up?
Every time I get hyped to play the Pistons, it end up turning into a bad day for me.
Yep.
Because we had a week off. Pistons missing two of the big men, Dorn, Stewart, whatever his name is.
Yep.
And we lost the rebounding battle.
Yeah, that's
with our guys.
Yeah. With Mitch
and
there,
I was hoping we was gonna win that one.
Paul Reed, Say Quizzy. Paul Reed.
And I don't know a 2-day contract guy. I don't even know his name.
That's what I'm saying. You got Paul Reed out there and a guy that I've never even seen play in my life. Tolo Smith.
Bro,
who's the dude? Who was the dude that just killed us in the last game? A couple of games ago?
Huff Puff.
It's these guys coming out of nowhere.
And my main thing was Cat. Once their two big men was gone today, I said, if Cat don't have a dominant game, we're not winning. And he did not have a dominant game. 21 points. It's not a dominant game for their big men to be going. Because Paul Reed had 18 on 9 shots. So if he had 18 and you had 21, hey, we might as well pick up Paul Reed's because he's getting paid less.
Yeah.
And this Brunson 2-man game with him is just not working. I don't understand. Hartenstein and Brunson had a better 2-man game, but Hartenstein had the floater. That floater was 90% going in when Hartenstein threw it up. And then he didn't have to be in the paint. He could be damn near at the free throw line and do a floater and he'll make it. Cat got the run to the rim and the 3. And if that 3's not falling, most of the time he's going to get an offensive foul or he's not going to get his call and then the other team is going on a fast break. So it gets me worried that Cat can't dominate. And he was making all those 3s in the All-Star game. Where was that for us?
I'm saying, man, I see him hitting 3 after 3 in the All-Star game. I'm like, oh, Cat's 3 is back.
And I'm like, oh, he's back. Oh, the Giannis trades is over with, so he's happy. He's staying in New York. Oh, the 3s is going to fall. He had a good third quarter, but then fourth quarter turned over, and they was giving him the ball. Brunson was not on that court, and he turned it over, got blocked by Reeves. So OG should have took a day off. I understand he came back, but I didn't think he should have came back because this was a tough game for him to come back after being out for so long. Because Cade was going crazy. I thought they should have put Sohan out there. Because if OG ain't making his 3s, he's kind of playing like Sohan right now because Sohan is not the best at shooting. Mikal, only 9 shots, fadeaways after fadeaways. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if Cade could do this in the playoffs. Will he have a game like this? We in trouble because I don't think Cade had a game like this when we played them. He had decent stats, but this type of game, he's gonna be a problem if he could do this in the playoffs. And like I understand, we living off that. We did it to Boston. Boston was beating us.
Yep.
Cavs had the number 1 seed. Well, guess what? Cavs didn't have no dogs.
Nope.
So I ain't trust the Cavs.
Yep.
Mitch was the only one that I trust, but Garland and them, I did not trust. Mobley, Allen, I still don't trust them. They got Harden. Hopefully his luck in the playoffs keeps going and nothing changes if he plays us. Because imagine Harden have a dominant playoff series against the Knicks. That would be a story. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Playoffs is where it matters, but it is what it is. Hopefully we can bounce back, but I really wanted this one.
Say Quizzy, appreciate
That's
you.
all I got to say.
Appreciate you for calling in. Always thank you for the support as always, man. Shout out to the callers tonight. Say Quizzy calling into the show. You guys can call in if you want to hit the Discord. Yeah, man. It's like he said, Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, a 2-man game is just not where it needs to be, right? It's just not where it needs to be. He said Brunson and Ihart had a better 2-man game, and I'm not here to argue with that because he's right, But these cats off the streets, like Paul Reed blocking the ish out of Cat. I got Tulu Smith the other couple of games ago. I got Huff Puff. Like, who are these guys that you should be dominating night in, night out? Right? And it's just not happening. So let's get to the super chat from D. Dot. He says, I'm definitely not concerned about the Pistons. Boston swept us last season and we sent them packing in the playoffs. Why can't we do the same to Detroit? Yeah, D. Dot. I mean, look, Say Quizzy said that he doesn't compare this Pistons team to the Cavs, and I don't either. We'll see. That's the hope. That's the hope right now. Like, I hope you're right. Like, I want that to happen, right? But normally, like, if a team smokes you in a regular season, it kind of looks the same in the playoffs. But normally, like, you have a couple of rare occasions where it doesn't happen like that. Like last year was a prime example. I hope. El Figgy says, we've now given the Pistons all the confidence and momentum going into the playoffs. Yeah. Look, right now, the Boston Celtics are currently beating the Golden State Warriors by 23 points in Golden State at halftime. So you figure that lead is going to hold up, right? And Boston is now going to be a full game and a half ahead of you. And with this gauntlet schedule coming up, there is a world where you can fall back to the 4th seed. I mean, you're tied with Cleveland right now for the 4th seed. So it's not out of the realm of possibility at all. Right? And my thinking is I want as many home games in Madison Square Garden right now. I do. And right now it's looking like right now on February 19th, it's looking like that's not going to be the case, but we'll see. Things change. But this schedule coming up for the New York Knicks is a tough one, ladies and gentlemen. I showed you it. We got Houston coming up on Saturday. They're not an easy matchup at all. But hopefully we can get this one. The thing about the Knicks is they've always kind of like responded, that bad Indiana loss, then they responded in Philly, right? So it's like That's the problem with this. It's like the Jekyll and Hyde with this Knicks team. And that's what we've been speaking about on the podcast. And that's what I've been telling you guys. It's like the only team stopping the New York Knicks from being great is the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. That's the only team, in my opinion. Because I do think they have enough talent to be the best team in the East and make it all the way to the NBA Finals. Because anything short of that, anything getting... You have to at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Otherwise, this season was just a complete... You guys heard it all over. I don't want to keep repeating it, but you have to. The pressure is undeniable this season with this group. And it's just been like this roller coaster season where the highs are the highs and the 8-game winning streak, but the lows have been like low. And I'm not saying tonight's game was a low because we shot just simply poorly, but it wasn't what you wanted to see from this squad, guys. It wasn't. So, once again, shout out to you guys in the chat. Shout out to the super chatters. Appreciate you, D. Dot. Shout out to the members in here. El Figgy says we could drop down to the 5th if we're not careful. If OG's not right, then sit your ass down. We need him 100% for the playoffs. Exactly. My thinking right now is OG Anunoby doesn't have a toenail, right? He doesn't have a toenail. I don't know how heavily wrapped they got that thing. Probably super heavily wrapped. But I don't know how long it takes for a toenail to grow back. But if he's not going to be effective defensively, especially, then now that's why you got Sohan. That's why you have a Mohamed Diawara. That's why you got those guys. So OG Anunoby can kind of chill out a little bit. But at the same time, I say that, like, are we at this point right now where it's just like, get me to the playoffs? Like, are we there? Are we at that point where it's just like, get me to the playoffs and we'll see what happens? I don't know if I'm there yet because of the standings. The Knicks just keep not slipping, but they're on the verge of slipping, guys. Like, there could be a world where El Figgy said we do fall to the 5th seed. We play the Cavs. We play the Raptors. There is a world, and I don't want to live in that world. But I know a lot of fans in the chat. You guys let me know. Some fans are just like, bro, just get me to the playoffs healthy. Like, get me to the playoffs healthy. I wanted to see this team healthy, and we'll see what happens. But there are some issues with this team, and mainly Karl Anthony Towns and Mike Brown. They gotta get that stuff fixed. Because if you think all of a sudden in the playoffs, poof, it's just gonna magically appear like last year. Because remember, going to the playoffs, it was a little bit rocky, guys. A little bit rocky, right? And then all of a sudden, you have these magical moments. Right? First round, Pistons. Let's not forget campaign. Right? Let's not forget his playoff performance. Like, you had some magical moments from people, and that's what it takes to win an NBA championship. But it's a pressure-packed season, ladies and gentlemen. And the New York Knicks, just right now, if you're a Knicks fan, like, there's a clear favorite in the East, and it's not you. And coming into the season, we thought that it was going to be us. And right now, it's not. Right now, it's not. And that kind of puts me in a bad place, because the Pistons just look like they're out for blood. They just look like they're so pissed off about the first round matchup last year that they've smoked you in all three like, who knows? Maybe in the first round, if they get matched up against, look, they're not losing in the first round. They're not. Maybe in the second round, if they get matched up against like the Cavs or somebody, maybe they give them a run for their money. But they're good. They're legit. I don't like their comments, by the way. They don't give Jalen Brunson credit at all. Every time they speak about Jalen Brunson, and we heard about it with Thompson before the game, it's always about the fouls. He's a good foul baiter. He's good at drawing fouls. It's never giving him his due. Like, give this man his props, bro. He sent you home last year on a play where he didn't try to get a foul in your grill, Mr. Thompson. So stop going on national television saying that Jalen Brunson, he's really good at generating fouls. And I got Cade coming out saying the top 5-10 players in the NBA all are foul baiters. Give this man Brunson his due, man. I'm tired of Jalen Brunson keep getting disrespected by these dudes, man. That's what frustrates me even more, seeing that crap. Jose says, no, we need to finish the season and grow together as a team. Woody says, we were out. El Figure says, instead of sailing into the playoffs, we're going in uneasy again. Yep. And look, I really do agree with the sentiment that the playoffs are a different game. They are. Like, once game 82, well, game 83 for us. Once game 83 ends, it's like, okay, let's get healthy. Who's our opponent? Expectations are still NBA Finals. You see what happens. If the Pistons get knocked out by, let's say, the Cavs, which I don't think, or the Celtics, if they get Tatum back, because that's kind of like the dark horse right now is the Celtics with Tatum coming back. Who knows? But the only team standing in the way, in my opinion, are the New York Knicks themselves. I just think I don't know what it is with this team. Like, I don't. There's too many attitudes. Like, there's too many egos on this team. Darian, Darian Kitchen 8227 says, I've been a fan since 1970. This team is not going to win a championship. Oof, Darian, appreciate you in the chat. Thanks for rocking with the Knicks Nation channel. Been a fan since 1970. So you've seen their last NBA championship. I haven't. I wasn't alive then. Never witnessed a Knicks championship in my life. I was hoping this is going to be the year. Maybe it still is. It still can be. But I can't argue with you, Darian, because I don't know what Knicks team we're going to get. Right? This Knicks team can be really good. Really good. But when they're not good, you know. But hey, let's kind of take a step back. If you want to be optimistic, they did generate some good looks tonight, and they just missed them. Right? If you want to be optimistic, that's the name. Sometimes that's the name of the game, right? They generated some good looks, and they just missed them. David says championship teams don't roll like this. Elfie says Thibs needs to give Mike Brown pointers on how to play cat properly. Oof. Jose says new player rotation and system first year. Let's be honest, this ain't easy. It's not, man. It's not easy. You know, if you 35, they're 35-21, and when they've looked great, they've looked really damn great, like unbeatable. Like Pistons, they're coming in pretty much the same team with some little bit of tweaks, right? They get Duncan Robinson, a shooter. Jalen Duran's now an all-star. They have more experience under their belt, right? They got them. Pistons got some hair on their chest now. They're like, okay, last year we thought we should have won. Didn't happen. This year, let's go out and win. Remember what I said last time? The Pistons kind of remind me of the Knicks with Hartenstein and Dante, right? That's what they kind of remind me of. I don't know what to make of Boston. I don't. I really don't. I think without Tatum in a playoff series, I think the New York Knicks still beat them. Cleveland now, they won 6 straight. They're playing well with James Harden, but they have 2 players on their team, that have underperformed in the playoffs, right? If you guys want to go down this thing, Celtics are champs. Been there, done that. They got a championship head coach. Jaylen Brown's playing like an MVP. Jason Tatum may be coming back. Who knows? Cleveland is Cleveland, right? But James Harden may give them some juice, and we'll see what they do in the playoffs. I still don't believe Cleveland's going anywhere. Toronto, no. Philly, no. And you got the play-in teams every single year. Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte's playing really well. God, this is what makes this kind of like so frustrating for this Knicks team. It's like in a year where you're supposed to be like the best. And look, I know it doesn't matter if you finish 1 or 2, and I still do think the Knicks get up to 2 and finish. If we finish the season the 2nd seed, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm fine. Let's ride. You get home court advantage. First couple of rounds, Eastern Conference Finals. If the Pistons make it out there, cool. We're comfortable winning in Detroit. Cool. But, man, this was a tough loss, but we got to go back and get them on Saturday, right? Slow Runner says Pistons killed the Knicks without their top centers, Stewart and Duren. Knicks crapped the bed again. Sickening efforts by Cat, Bridges, and OG, along with Josh Hart. Yeah, OG kind of gets a little pass. Karl-Anthony Towns, I just thought, look, the game was even Dwayne Wade, right? I respect his opinion. He's a champion. Dwayne Wade said on the broadcast, like, Karl-Anthony Towns, when the Pistons were being extra physical with him, he kind of changed a little bit, like his mannerisms, his style, like seemed like he didn't want to play in that physicality that the Pistons were throwing at him. Paul Reed, like, come on, man. Paul Reed blocked the ish out of Cat. Paul Reed, same Paul Reed that called the New York Knicks the easier matchup when he was with the Philadelphia 76ers, by the way. Same guy. Not afraid. That's what the Pistons are. Elfie says we always look like this when we don't move the ball well and we just pick up our dribble and hold on to the ball for 20 seconds. Agree. She says, why do we go away from what works? Yeah, that's the ball movement, man. You're coming off that great game against the Philadelphia 76ers, right? It's just incredible. Like A+ performance. And then this, and then like it stops. So frustrating, guys. Frustrating, man. Once again, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the members in here. Shout out to all of you in the chat. Thanks for rocking with me on this Thursday evening. You guys have been awesome tonight. TA, what's going on? Cat still needs pointers on playing. What's going on, TA? Part of the Cat, Slow Runner says part of the Cat problem is Mike Brown. Look, I can't disagree with that. And it was being reported from multiple sources that Mike Brown and Karl-Anthony Towns, they kind of don't get along. A lot of reporters have reported that. You don't necessarily need to get along with your coach. But if you're Cat, man, you're coming off of, look, he was an all-star this year, whether you agree with that or not. He has been putting up double-doubles. He's the best rebounding big in the NBA. His three-point shot just hasn't. That's his cheat code, guys. Karl-Anthony Towns' cheat code, his kryptonite, hasn't been there this year. And can I blame Mike Brown on Cat shooting so poorly? I don't know. Like, Is the system preventing Karl-Anthony Towns from shooting so poorly this year? What is he down to? 1 of 4 tonight. He is shooting 35% from 3 this year. The only time he shot less than that was his rookie season. That was 10 years ago. That's his cheat code, guys. That's why we traded Julius Randle for Karl-Anthony Towns. 5-out offense to space the floor, right? Best big man shooting big in the NBA. And obviously that wasn't the sole reason why we traded Randle for him. But you were getting a 41%, 39% career 3-point shooter. This extra 4% less is big. Like that's huge. That's a huge gap. And still, guys, the New York Knicks are a top offense in the NBA, despite Cat shooting 35% from 3. They're still one of the best offenses in the NBA. So, whatever it is, look, he's averaging 19.8 points a game. He has an average, the worst offensive season since his rookie year. That's a fact. Right now. Worst. Last year was almost damn near 25 points a game. We are just not getting that with Cat. We are just not getting that with Cat this year. And last year he shot 42% from 3. I don't know who to blame. Like I can blame Mike Brown, I can blame Cat as well. Like I just figure it out. Figure it out. Him and Brunson, we know that 2-man game is just non-existent. It doesn't work. But one thing I do know is I need Karl-Anthony Towns to play stronger. Like, there's so many times when I look at him play and I'm just like, dude, just play strong. You're 7-1. Like, play strong. He plays too soft sometimes for me. For everyone. Not just for me. Like, I need you to match their physicality a little bit. But it is what it is at this point. Look, Cat has had an amazing playoffs for us last year, right? He had amazing moments in the playoffs, but we'll see if they can figure this out, and hopefully they can. David says, let's be honest, who's actually is playing better under Mike Brown? First name that came to mind was Deuce McBride, David. Deuce was having an amazing season prior to his injury, and then he got hurt. That's the first player that came to mind. Josh Hart was having a pretty good season. Right? OG Anunoby had his moments, having a really good season. Cat has taken a step back quite a bit. And when that's your second best player, that's kind of an issue, right? Trying to see if I can get some quotes for you guys. Once again, shout out to the chat. All right, yeah. Jalen Brunson has spoken, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what JJB has to say. This is from SNY Knicks, SNY videos. These are not my videos. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they played great against us. And, I think today was obviously not as bad as the first two. But, I mean, just not up to our standards.
Jalen Brunson says today was not as bad. You said not as bad as the first two. Is that what he said?
3 games. Yeah, I mean, they played great against us. And, I think today was obviously not as bad as the first two.
Yeah, not as bad as the first two. Look, Knicks missed a ton of shots, guys. They did. Randu, salute. Salute, Randu. Salute to every single one of you guys in the chat.
Of the first round.
More Jalen Brunson.
Jalen, you guys went 1-3 against the Pistons last year, but beat them in the playoffs of the first round. You guys go 0-3 against them this year. See, the series is over. Does the experience of winning against them in the playoffs, even though you lost in the regular season, does that help here, or what do you think?
It's a new year.
It's exactly it. I've been saying it. It's a new year. What happened last year doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna happen again this year. You can't just automatically think that. Yes, that's in our head, so it kind of gives us Knicks fans kind of like, okay, like, look, regular season. Playoffs, we know this Knicks team can pick it up a notch, but it's a new year. Like Jalen Brunson said, it's a new year. Let's get to some Karl Anthony Towns.
Beat us fair and square every time. Tonight, obviously, it was a better showing than the first two, but it wasn't. There's no moral victories, nor was it what New York wants to see. But we got a lot of film, and we're seeing each other in the playoffs. We got to be ready. Beat us fair and square every time.
They beat us fair and square every time. Tonight, obviously, was a better showing, but there's no moral victories. That is from Karl Anthony Towns. More from the Big Cat.
In the playoffs last year, obviously, you guys went 1-3 against the Pistons, but beat them in the first round. What do you make of that?
Well, it means a lot. I think it does. It builds the confidence going into that playoff series, and and also you have great film to see what did work against our team and against their team. And, I think that any game is important in the regular season. I know you're talking about seeing them in the playoffs, but you got to get there first. And for standings, you always want to win. You want to make sure you give yourselves the best chance to control your destiny.
Important.
So now Cat's saying, it builds a confidence going into the season. You also have great film to see what did work. So maybe he's telling Mr. Brown, like, look what did work in that series.
Just
more Cat.
Just trying to make a play, be aggressive in playmaking, and got a chance to get some shots up, and I wanted to capitalize on those opportunities, and I'm happy that I was able to hopefully give us a spark. Try to start the third quarter on a strong note.
I'm sorry, guys. Jay says Cat hoodie even soft, man. Barney says Cat looking extra soft tonight, man. Look. You guys are funny, man. You guys made me laugh. Randu says issue is Cat is are you supposed to be a second best player on the team and the highest paid player on the team? Yeah. Salute, Randu. Salutes. Appreciate you in the chat. Woody. Elfie says, so what's the answer? Bring back Hartenstein this summer. He did play better off JB. Hey, man, let's go. Well, what just happened? Let's get to Jose.
I know you weren't here for the first two, but they won by 30 plus. I think both of them in Detroit. Just in general, can a team just flush that if you have to see them in the playoffs? Like, how much does the regular season matter?
Yeah, playoffs is a whole different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not gonna sit here and say, oh, just because they beat us in regular season, we can't. We're not thinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think like that. So, when it counts, that's when it matters, So we're gonna play like that.
I know you.
I love that. He's right, but we react to these games game by game, and we'll see if we can get him on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, shout out to the chat. You guys have been awesome. Shout out to the members as always. Thanks for the support. Thanks for rocking with me tonight over here at the Knicks Nation channel. Make sure you guys follow the socials. They're up above at Knicks Nation on Instagram, at Knicks Nation on X. We'll be back on Saturday going through that game. hopefully the New York Knicks can bounce back and get, a practice in their belt. Mike Brown, figure out the rotations a little bit. This one sucked, but it's not the end of the world. We still got a game on Saturday, and hopefully, we can get back on track on Saturday. So Wayne says, I like that mentality from Alvarado. Love it. Yeah, I like that too. I like that. I feel like ending this post game on that note was the right thing to do, and I like that sound is coming from the locker room. Like, the guys haven't lost their confidence, nor that they should. There's a bunch of talent in that locker room, and we just got to put it all together. That's been the problem all year. It's putting it all together consistently on a consistent basis, and we'll see if they can. But standing wise, you're falling back. Well, let's just get back on track with a win on Saturday, guys. Appreciate you in the chat as always. It is Let's Go Knicks. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. Enjoy your night. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Peace.
Brunson a three. Bang! Jalen Brunson